Well, here we are. My name's Bill DeVille. It's another virtual session from The Current, and I am so pleased to welcome Patterson Hood and Mike Cooley of Drive By Truckers. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey,
Hello. Good to be
How are
here.
you? Patterson, where are you?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Look like you're in a little studio upstairs at your place.
Yeah, it's up in my attic, and
Hmm.
been trying to build it into something where I can do some recording while I'm home and do these things.
Right.
This is my
So nice.
venue tonight. It's in Fillmore. It's
The venue you always dreamt about. Is it as good as you
yeah,
wanted it to be?
yeah. I'm gonna paint a little star in a corner, and that be my little First Avenue corner. I'm gonna do like a little shrine to all my favorite venues that I'm not getting to play now.
Mike, where are you?
I'm in Birmingham, Birmingham, Alabama. I had to come in my living room to get closer to the router.
There you go. Modern technology, the wonders of it. So, how's it been going? Obviously, Patterson, you're there. Mike, you're there. There's a lot of distance between, but do you still write songs together? Do you still keep in touch?
Not much.
We keep yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've been in touch. Yeah, about as much
You
as
know,
we always are.
Hmm.
yeah.
Now, were you on the
Except
road?
except for those
Normally,
two tours we lost.
Yeah,
we prefer seeing each other in the bus, or
yeah, I can
backstage right
imagine.
before the show.
Yeah. And were you out on the road when the coronavirus was beginning to strike? It must have been difficult for you guys then, huh? When this whole thing was shut down.
Yeah, uh we did our record came out on the 30th of January, and we went out and played like a 3-week first leg. And by the end of that, things were getting scary out there. When I flew home from that trip, the airports were definitely, you could feel that something was going on. And then our second leg of the tour was supposed to start in Indianapolis and come up and play the Palace in St. Paul, and then head out to the West Coast. And by the time we got to Indianapolis, everything but that first weekend had already canceled. And then we were 2 songs into sound check, and everything canceled. So we loaded the bus back up, and I hitched a ride back to Georgia and flew home. And I've been here in
Yeah.
my attic ever since.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be difficult for bands. You make nowadays, records don't sell like they used to, and you make a, majority of your money out on the road, and everything is just
Yeah.
such a big question mark these days. How do you deal with something like that?
I try not to
It's
think about
scary.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really try not to think about it.
Yeah. So how are you and the families, Mike? Your family's good? Everybody's healthy?
Yeah, they're great. They've been champs in every way. I'm really they've handled this so much better than me, um, and I've been okay. I've kept it mostly to myself, but they've been wonderful. They've plowed right through. Hopefully, they
Now, as the
can
as the
hold up.
coronavirus made it into Birmingham much?
Uh, my wife had symptoms a few weeks back. Got tested, and of course, by the time the test came back as a negative, she was almost symptom free. So whatever it wasn't that. But
Yeah.
it's I did hear of several cases in and around the University of Birmingham. I mean, University of Alabama, Birmingham, and so there are cases in the hospitals here, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how bad it is right here in this area. But Alabama's done, I'd say, a better job than some of our neighbors, honestly,
Hmm.
Yeah.
uh,
The
in
worst,
dealing with this.
I heard one of the parts like of Alabama that's being hit the hardest is some of the rural, like small towns with a lot of like poultry manufacturing and stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
uh, my mom's in a town called Arab, Alabama, and but that I know, and that area has been hit pretty hard because they're pretty big poultry producing part of the state.
Yeah. So how are you staying busy? Have you done a lot of Zoom meetings, family meetings, and friends meetings on Zoom?
done
Too
one.
many.
In fact, I think that's one of the only times he and I have hung out together was on that one Zoom meeting we did for a couple of friends' birthdays. That was that like a year
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I hadn't even done a Zoom meeting until March. Now I think I've done like 20, 25 of them. It's like this brave new world out there, and it's a new way of interacting. So, all right, how about some music from who wants to start? You're going to do some songs separately. Patterson, you want to start?
Sure. Sure. All right. Y'all hearing it okay?
Yeah.
I'll do one off of that brand new record we haven't gotten to tour behind. And the song's called 21st Century USA. The parking lot behind Oasis Tan, down the street from the Mexican restaurant behind the Auto Zone, and the places hawking payday loans. There's a Kmart and a KFC, a fitness center and an Applebee's, Wells Fargo and a Taco John's, a good time bar to get your bad swerve on. In a town that's named for razor blades, all American but Chinese made, folks working hard for shrinking pay. 21st Century USA. Out I-90 we might see you pass. We got coal and methane gas. We got jobs where the work is hard, and stores to max out your credit cards. In a town that ain't nowhere near, just like every town everywhere, folks working hard for shrinking pay. You say we have to hang on just a little bit longer, and a savior will come our way. We'll know him by the neon sign and the opulence he maintains. If Amazon can deliver salvation, I'll order it up on my phone. With Big Brother watching me always, why must I always feel so alone? Men working hard for not enough at best. Women working just as hard for less. They get together late at night at bars and bang each other like crashing cars. Working hard, but it don't seem enough. Calloused hearts make even love seem tough. Prescription pills to make the pain hurt less, till your calloused heart just needs a rest. Look at your children and you hope and pray they can conjure up a better day. No one remembers how it got that way. 21st Century USA. 21st Century USA.
All right, Mike, your turn.
All right. As long as there's a story's light in there, what makes a man a man's been right up front. Envisions what it could be. Dreams what it ain't like what they thought. With money and respect seem to give me. Being quiet alone don't make the lady soon. There's no shortage when it comes to hearing voices. Telling him it's in the stutter too. Saves trouble with the ladies can't be his fault. After all, he's what's natural as you want. There's just outside forces turning against him. A conspiracy to water down his blood. A conspiracy to water down his blood. And it's all the fault of bitter than relay. If a boy target for his feelings, he might get it in his head they need to pay. Yeah, giving boys targets for their dreams, and mocking those who bear the pain they cause. It takes a certain special kind of something. Cash the check and bring some sleep at all. The demonizing of the trouble-minded, with all the usual suspects on the scene. Merchants selling young men reclamation. Merchants selling old men back their dreams. All suspended disbelief in this fate, 'cause the vision of a special hell is gone. We sell their marks without it even happening. An eternity for every tear they lost. An eternity for every tear they lost. When the price of freedom finally be their own, man's thoughts and our prayers keep them coming as they wallow in their helplessness alone. Man's thoughts and our prayers keep them coming while they wallow in their helplessness alone.
That's Mike Cooley live in his living room in Birmingham, Alabama, and Patterson Hood live from his attic in Portland, Oregon. This is the first time we've done one of these things, kind of cross-country style like this. It's kind of fun.
Well, I thought we did well.
I think you did pretty well too. Patterson, you must be at about dinner time over there, huh? Oh wait, you're
I'm
earlier.
sorry, must be. Oh, it's early.
It's the
Yeah.
other way.
Yeah, the other way around. Yeah. Well, you guys, Drive-By Truckers, are kind of from the Woody Guthrie school of songwriting, I like to think, and you're writing songs about the times. Do you ever just want to make kind of a fun and meaningless album where the lyrics mean absolutely nothing, just good fun?
Oh God,
beats or
yes,
anything
every
like that?
day.
Yeah. That
I
would be
mean,
my first choice.
I want to write songs like Telegram Sam right
Yeah,
now. I want everything I write to sound like that, but it
like
does.
T-Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I mean that song in particular, just these great, meaningless but gloriously meaningless.
How about you,
I
Patterson?
agree. I feel exactly the same way, and maybe next time we keep aiming for that. I mean, it's kind of funny because I wrote a song the first week of our quarantine, and this has been a pretty dark time for everybody
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
world right now. And it's been, I mean, I've had a hard time with it for sure. I've had some pretty dark weeks up here, but I think it's probably the happiest sounding song I've written in years and years, probably since the one where I like shot everybody in the song. But
I
it's kind of,
smiled in the video.
I
I
know
saw
you
you
did.
smile and I watched that. You were just like,
Yeah,
it was
Yeah.
kind of fun
I
to
never
watch.
do that.
It's like, I mean, our last record is so dang dark, and and then things got worse, and we're like writing happy songs about it. So maybe that's a good omen. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
was going to
hope
say
I'll
the
take
last.
what I can get.
Yeah, I was going to say the last two albums, The Unraveling and then American Band, have both been kind of hard hitting and topical. And so, what do
For
you think
sure.
might be? Yeah, what do you think might be next for Drive By Truckers? Granted, you haven't even toured behind this album yet, thanks to this COVID
Probably
epidemic.
homelessness if we can't get back on the road pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he said.
Now, are you hopeful that it's possible that like the September date here in the Twin Cities could stick and things could be all better by late summer, early fall?
That's like the most optimistic I can. Yeah, that's the most optimistic I can possibly be. That's as much as I can possibly conjure, and that's
I
probably
mean, the
too
dates are
much.
still on the calendar. They're still on the book. Every time I see it, I smile, and then I remind myself that it's probably not going to happen. I mean, I'll be very surprised. I would
Yeah,
love nothing more than to be wrong and to be out on tour and it be a safe and okay thing. But the last thing I want is for people to come to our show and get hurt, get sick from it
Yeah.
or whatever.
well,
And
imagine how frustrated we all are now. If we go back to normal, only to have to shut right back down again,
Yeah,
that's not going to
that'd
be
be
pretty.
tragic.
That's not going to be pretty at all.
and people who studied pandemics and like in the 1918 pandemic that people keep talking about, the second wave in 1919 killed way more people than the first wave. And that's what happened. Everybody's like, oh, we survived it. And they opened back up too quick. And it was, devastating.
It's the most bitter
And so,
pill I've ever had to swallow. But if we go back to doing what we do too soon,
Yeah.
deaths are going to soar.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's reality.
Well, you haven't had to resort to watching Tiger King yet, have you?
Man, I think that is proof that there was some inside information. Somebody knew this was coming because that show, they added it to Netflix like the day we came home, pretty much. I mean, it was like the minute everybody was in lockdown, and there's somebody said, "Are you kidding me? Nobody's going to watch this." Oh, trust me, they're going to watch this. Somebody knew everybody was about to be stuck at home and starved to death for entertainment.
Did you
Yeah.
watch it, Mike?
And it also shows how in denial we all were because everybody went there first. That was
Yeah.
almost everybody's first Netflix binge. If you had known how this was going to go, you would just now be getting around to thinking about being desperate enough to watch Tiger King.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. All you had to
we,
do
we,
was
all, we all kidded ourselves into believing this was going to be, oh, we'll go home for 2 to 4 weeks. It'll suck, but
it'll
no.
be
But
over.
we'll watch Tiger King.
But we'll watch Tiger King, get a kick out of it. Now, somebody knew this was coming, or that nobody would have ever green-lighted that garbage.
Yeah.
I was guilty.
So,
I
yeah,
watched
I
it
watched
and
it.
regret it.
Yeah.
Well, all you
It
had
was
to
like,
do was open up Netflix, and it was right there. And in one click, you're one click away, and it's boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
it made me mad because I was a sucker and I got sucked into it, and then the last couple of episodes is like, oh man, okay, I see what's going to happen. The exact same thing we've been watching the entire time is just going to keep happening. And then they're going to roll the credits and say, okay, that's it, and they didn't even bother to say that wasn't even him doing his singing. I mean, that just kind of bugged me. So,
Yeah.
I felt like I'd had that time stolen from me. And,
Yeah, I hear you. Me too. Me too.
Oh yeah.
and that's in lockdown.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what they call it
about
in
a week
England.
or so ago, I started realizing that all of these shows, even the really good ones, there are all of these stories are take place in and are filmed in all of these cities we were supposed to be touring in. So instead of getting distracted from the fact that this sucks, I'm just getting reminded. So I had to stop that too.
Yeah. Have you guys been digging out a lot of records to listen to through this kind of downtime?
Yeah, so
Not as much as I would have thought for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it
I mean,
hadn't really been. We've been pretty busy trying to get up and running to do these kinds of things and try to do live stream performance that we've never really had to do. So I think we've both been kind of preoccupied with a lot of that.
yeah, for sure.
Well, how about some more live music? Who wants to take the next tune?
Yeah. I'll do one. I'll do my, so the
Tell us
truckers
about
put
the
out
song. Yeah.
we just put out a new record when this all happened, but,
Yeah.
the first week in lockdown, I wrote this song and, I thought, man, the band should record this, and so, I recorded it. I have a little Tascam rig up here in my attic, and I just recorded it, a basic track, just me on acoustic guitar and singing it. And then I sent it to all the guys in the band, and everybody put their parts on separately at their house. And then we did a video the same way. It looks like a Zoom call, and
Yeah.
and then a friend of mine here in Portland, and Eric, put it all together and edited it, and so we put it out last week for Bandcamp, and it's done real well, I think. And so I guess I'll do this. It's like the happiest sounding song about the end of the world possible, but it's called "Quarantine Together." You got a smart looking face. I hope you don't take that the wrong way, but I saw you walking across the street and want to hear what you say. And if we find ourselves later on hanging out and getting along, we might as well quarantine together as be miserable all alone. We might as well quarantine together as be miserable all alone. So if you come on over to my place, I promise you I will stay 6 feet away. And what if we acclimate and call this isolation date? Maybe enough time could go by, we could be each other's mistake. Where there's waiting around to go under, and I ain't getting no younger. We might as well quarantine together and ride out the lightning and thunder. Might as well quarantine together and find the blanket to hide out under. If we find ourselves later on hanging out and getting along, we might as well quarantine together, just be miserable all alone. Might as well quarantine together, just be miserable all alone. Might as well quarantine together, just be miserable
Very nice. All right, Mike Cooley, what are you going to play for us?
All right, this is a song from a ways back. Thought it'd be kind of appropriate for the home with the family for weeks on end. It's called Eyes Like Glue. See you watching me, your eyes are just like glue, stuck like glue to every foolish thing I say. There's a safer distance, still not out of touch. Daddy is quiet, it probably means he's thinking way too much. Someday you'll be a man, you'll have a big old brain. You won't need it, but you'll try to use it just the same. But it's like any house, lonely people roam around. Wasted empty space, a maze with only one way out. Nobody ever told me half the things I'm telling you. Even if they had, I'd have had the same look that you do. Sometimes you think it and you want to hear it said out loud. If no one else does, then it's up to you to shout it out. You'll want to do it all. You'll believe you can. When the best that you can do becomes all you can stand, you'll know you're just a man when you feel all the weight pressed in. Next time you're watching me, remember that's all I am now.
Nice job there, Mike Cooley of Drive By Truckers. Patterson Hood performed Quarantine Together just prior, and Mike's song was called Eyes Like Glue. Nicely done there, fellas. Thank you so much for doing this. I got a question for you. Were you both John Prine fans?
Yeah,
Yeah,
huge.
yes, very much.
What was it about him?
Same thing I was saying earlier, those just wonderfully goofy lyrics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
That
said so
contain
little and said
multitudes.
everything all at the same time.
Yeah,
He was great. He was as good at that as anybody.
yeah,
yeah.
truly.
Do you have like
And
a favorite old John Prine song or album or?
so many. Sam Stone's absolutely one of the greatest songs ever written by anybody ever. But I love Jesus the Missing Years too.
Oh, that's a
I think
great
it's an
song. Yeah, it's pretty
incredible
clever.
song. Yeah, the
So
end of
here,
that
Abby,
song just
it's
devastates me.
Hmm. He's written a bunch of really amazing songs. What was it like for both of you growing up in a place like Muscle Shoals? One thing I always think is that there's a disproportionate amount of excellent musicians that come from that neck of the woods. Is that true?
a lot of them came there from other places, so
Yeah,
we have to, you know, acknowledge that. But
Yeah.
it drew a lot of people for sure.
yeah. What about you, Patterson? I mean, your father was a famous bass player. I saw he just played on the new Nicole Atkins album.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that yet, but I knew that he did that. Yeah, he's he's still gets to do some cool gigs and stuff. But I mean, it's amazing. I think it's one of the craziest, most miraculous stories of all music stories is that something like what happened in Muscle Shoals could have happened in the most unlikely of places on earth. It was, in 1969, it was a dry county in the middle of the Bible Belt South during the most heated time of the civil
Yeah.
rights struggle. And you had these basically these country boy white guys playing on Aretha Franklin and Wilson Pickett and Bobby Womack records. And it's a really amazing story.
Yeah. It was so cool that you guys were featured in that Muscle Shoals documentary. That was a wonderful doc, by the way, and the music was fantastic in it, and it was a great story.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kind of, like I said, it's kind of hard to even fathom how that even happened.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been a treat to have you guys here, and I hope you can make it back. My fingers are crossed. We'll see you in September, maybe at the Palace Theater,
Yes. Oh,
or if not, hopefully in early 2021 or something like that. It's Mike Cooley and Patterson Hood of Drive By Truckers. Their latest album is called The Unraveling, and it's a really good record. Thanks again for dropping by, gentlemen.
hey, thank you
Thanks for
so
having
much.
us.
And hey, Cooley, good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too. We should do this.
Yeah, I
We should
miss
do
you,
this
man. I miss you. Let's get together. Let's form a band.
You guys are probably you guys are like 2,000 miles apart, probably, aren't you?
We are.
Probably a little more, but
You think more? Yeah. It's been another virtual session with The Current, and I also want to thank Nate Ryan for engineering this thing. And we'll see you down the road, gentlemen.
All right. Bye bye.
hopefully, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Mhm.